Welcome to another crafting session. Today, due back from popular demand, we are going to be doing another variation of our Pom-Pom monsters. So we did these ones back in February for Valentine's Day, and we heard that they were quite a hit. People loved them. So we're going to give you another version of it, this time with a YouTube tutorial, to follow along and make a St. Patrick's Day or spring-themed one. So the supplies today that you're gonna need: we need a pipe cleaner, some Google Eyes, and I mean we have all kinds of pipe cleaners here. You can have sparkly ones. Kara would approve of the sparkly ones. You can have all kinds of different colored ones. We're going to need some foam, and you can use the pre-cut foam shapes, or you can use a foam board that comes, from any craft store or dollar store. And you're going to need some yarn. You'll also need some scissors, to pull from out of frame, and something to glue it all together with. You can use regular craft glue if you're willing to wait a little bit. For the purposes of our video today, we're going to use hot glue. Hot glue is hot glue can burn, be careful. So let's get down to making our little pom-pom monsters. The first thing that we're going to want to do is to take our yarn and wrap it around. If you don't have a pom-pom maker, if you do have a pom-pom maker, go ahead and wrap it around the pom-pom maker as the instructions go. If you don't, we're going to do the easy way. You're going to take your 4 fingers, and I like to pinch between my pinky and my thumb a piece of yarn, and then I kind of spread my fingers out, I fan them out a little, and I wrap. Now by spreading the fingers out, it helps from cutting off your fingers, your blood flow there, so you don't get that weird tingly feeling. And then you're just going to wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap until you have one big pom-pom. So when you're wrapping and wrapping and wrapping around your fingers, you're going to take and just slide it off, okay? So like we did here with our big ol' wrapping pile of yarn, you're going to slide it off your fingers. Maybe a help of a buddy might not hurt, but if you want to do it on your own, that's okay, you can do it too. Doesn't have to be perfect. Lay it to the side. You're going to take another piece of yarn. I usually do it about at least 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches long. Enough space that you can use to tie your little pom-pom buddy. And you're going to place your yarn. I know I'm using white, probably not the best visual on white paper. But so then you're going to take your little pom-pom, lay it on top of a piece of green string, and you're just going to tie it right in the middle. Give it a good old double knot to keep it in place. And then you have a little pom-pom. So, just, magic of TV there. So now that we have our big pom-pom, we have to cut the ends off of it to make it fluffy, because right now it's just a big ball tied up of yarn. So you're going to take your scissors and trim all those ends, like such. And you'll see some theme music here as we cut. And you're just going to trim it till all of those lengths are about the same size. And they don't all have to be the same length. That's the cool thing about it being a pom-pom monster, not a pom-pom, is that he can be a little scruffy looking if he wants to. So now that we've kind of trimmed up our little pom-pom monster, he's looking fluffy. We are going to start gluing things onto him to make him look a little more pom-pom-y. First things first, you're going to need 2 shapes for the feet. I'm using 2 large hearts. You can do it with any shape really you'd like. If you're going for a St. Patrick's Day theme, you can do shamrocks. If you're going for a spring theme, maybe you can do like flower petals, whatever feels right in your heart. You're going to want 2 smaller shapes for his antennas here. We're going with 2 hearts here, and they're different sizes, as you can see. So they don't need to be the same size for his little antennas. So you can, again, we're going with 2 green hearts. But if you wanted to do shamrocks for St. Patrick's Day, for Easter coming up, you could do like an egg shape. And then we're going to need 3 small triangles and 1 larger, or not triangle, rectangle. and one larger rectangle. And we'll see what we'll be doing with those in a second. So first things first, we're going to take our pipe cleaners, fold it in half, and you're going to cut it. Now if you want super long antennas, you can use both of these halves for our little buddies. I don't want my antennas that long today, so I'm going to take that half of the pipe cleaner and set it aside to make another monster with, and maybe at a later time. Use for something else. I'm going to fold my pipe cleaner again. And then I'm going to cut it. And there we have the two bases for our antennas. We are going to glue our little antenna guys on there. And now there's a trick that I had showed you guys previously. You're going to want to take and cut just a little bit of spare foam or paper that's going to go, and we're going to sandwich our pipe cleaners in between so that you don't burn yourselves, right? So go ahead and take a little glue if you're using hot glue, or if you're using regular glue. Put it down in the back of our feeler, and then we're going to sandwich another piece of foam over the back, or paper. You can also do this with paper. It doesn't have to be foam. Construction paper works great. And there we have our little antenna. And we're going to do that again with the other side. Sandwich it down. Boom, two antennas. Next step, we're going to kind of feel our little buddy here and find about the middle point of him. So when you tie it together, you make a little middle point, and you're going to just poke your antennas in there with some glue on the end. But be careful, again, if you're using hot glue, to not burn yourself. It's kind of a reminder for myself as much as it is for you guys. And we'll poke it in there. You gotta be careful not to kink it. There we go. And we'll do that to the other side as well. So we have two little antennas. Yay, it's taking shape. Next part that we're going to do is we're going to glue our rectangles together. So we just stack our little rectangles on top of each other. Now you can glue them one at a time if you want. The purpose of these is to kind of raise our little buddy up a little higher so that you can see his feet better. So he doesn't sit flat, he kind of sits tall. So I'm going to stack my three little rectangles and just sandwich glue between all of them. And then I'm going to glue them onto the end of our larger rectangle. And we want a flap sticking off because this is where our feet are going to get glued onto, right? So we're only going to use half of it. Put glue on one edge, and then you take your little rectangle sandwich and stick it on top of that one edge so that you have a flap. Next, you're going to take and glue your little hearts, and now you can cut them out of construction paper. If you're using, construction paper, you can cut your shapes out of here. You can use prefab shapes, like these foam stickers, or you can make, any shape. Doesn't have to be hearts again. Put a dot of glue on the corners of those. Okay, so that you kind of have these little flippers sticking out. And then we're going to put glue on the top of our foam rectangles. I keep calling them triangles. We're going to kind of fluff our buddy so that there's a spot for us to glue on the bottom. You want to find the middle again. Put a little bit of glue on. And then stick and hold for a little bit. Particularly if you're using craft glue at this point, you might even want to just let it sit and walk away for a little bit to let it dry. Because we're using hot glue, it's beauty of it is it dries and then it's good. So now you can see our little guy's got some feet on him. Our last and final step is to give him eyeballs. So you're going to take your glue, take a Google eye, be careful not to burn yourself if you're using hot glue, and then you're going to stick it underneath one of his antennas, And then you're going to rinse and repeat. Do the same to the other side. And there you have a little pom-pom monster for St. Patrick's Day or Easter or whatever holiday feels right in your heart. And you can switch up the colors. If you're going for Easter, make it some pastels. If you want an all-green monster for St. Patrick's Day, awesome, go for it. But so this was Pom-Pom Monsters. Thanks for joining us, Recreation Crafting. See you around.